Little bright sight. There he is. Arrived finally. Hopefully he is feeling okay. Had a bit of a long visit to the toilet, so who knows how he is feeling right now. But anyway, it's a blue Protoss. Fighting for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. It is Zest. Yeah, there's some nasty flus and stuff going around, of course, especially after everyone went into lockdown for a long period of time. A lot of those viruses, people don't really have the immune system ready to combat the new variations and the new strains available around them. Just because everyone's been in confinement all this time, of course. Well, anyway. Let's hope he's okay. He's playing right now. He might make it short, and that might be another clue as to what's going on with him. But anyway, in the bottom left side, excuse me, a red Terran player fighting, of course, for Kaisi Gaming. It is time. Indeed, a best of 7 so far. Oh, wow. All right. Well, then. All right. We have resumed. Not entirely sure what was going on there, but who cares? We got StarCraft now. Let's hope it keeps going. This command center on the ground, not really being delayed here. Going for a Marine also, trying to shoot away that probe, of course. Make it a bit easier to get all the construction on the command center to go fluidly. Straight up into the factory from time. We have Zest right here, still making that adept, of course. He's got a second pile on all the stuff really in his main base right now. Except for one probe, but the probe is chasing an SCV, so very unlikely anything mischievous will be taking place there. Let's see if we get the rotation here. Should be able to see that onto the reactor. There's a good bit of gas. And yeah, there we go. It's going to be spent on the starport. The rest of it, well, the minerals will be placed for a couple of Hellions here. Very popular to get only a couple of Hellions and then mix it up together with another sort of a drop. Whether that be Marines or Widow Mines coming into the main base. Something like this. Have the Hellions running through the front door at the same time. Could be something quite strong here, but might even be him going for the 4 Hellions just straight into... Make that 3 Hellions. Make that 2 Hellions perhaps, actually. Just straight up into the main base, right? That could very well happen. Another Hellion goes down. Bringing him down to 2. I don't think he lost any SCVs. No, he didn't. But still, those Hellions, first and foremost, Zest getting the scout on them, which is pretty big. And secondly, killing 2 of them. That's going to pretty much safeguard his probes. Like, if this happened in his own base, where Hellions got in and he only lost the 2 adepts, I mean, he would probably be pretty okay with that. I would be. Adept's gonna cast some chaos here on the other side of the map. Hellions are zooming across. Of course, Zest is fully aware of this. Single Stalker going to be warped in, attempting to deal with that situation. And medevac might make it a little bit more difficult, of course, as there is high ground access right now. Right onto the probe line. There we go. Already a pretty reasonable shot. Has to keep 3 Hellions alive here, of course, since there is a shield battery. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of extra work to try and get these probes to go down. Just managed to line up a couple more here in the natural. And especially considering how this all started with the quick early scout and a couple of those Hellions going down early, 7 probes is a fair amount, I would say. It's a pretty good amount. Now, if only Time was able to continue on mining here, that would make the situation even a little bit better for him, of course. Zest, how many gateways is he on right now? It is on 3 gateways, and Blink is about to finish up. He could start launching quite a hefty assault onto time here in a little bit. Not quite sure if he has anything to provide high ground vision with. I don't think so, right? No. He has a robo, so he could be making a war prism or a observer. Or he will have to bite the bullet and spend the 100 gas for a sentry. Get an hallucinated phoenix or something like that if he really wants to. But even that's only going to stick around for a certain amount of time. Oh my, those adepts get in here. That's something to give you high ground vision with. There we go. The Stalker's now in there as well. The siege tank clearly not where it's supposed to be. And instantaneously, that is just going to trigger time to GG out of there. Very unfortunate, not raising the supply depot. Okay. Things looking pretty normal so far. Once again, things being built on their own side of the map. But we know that doesn't stop Zest all too long. The build previously wasn't that aggressive though, right? We have to remember it was only on the 3 gates. I think it was just a combination of time not really managing to get those Hellions in there, with the 4 of them having to make more Hellions and then just being woefully unprepared for any other follow-up that Zest could throw at him. Time here being a little bit sneaky, taking care of that one single mineral patch there already. Wondering what the plan is for that. A little bit more access could help out with all sorts of Terran units potentially rushing across that map. Could also just be a great place for your siege tank to kind of siege up, right? A very thin choke point for the Protoss army that they might want to try to push through. It's a reasonable, you know, couple of places where you can go around it. There's some reasonable alternative routes. This 3 Rex coming out of time here. Triple Rex play. Alright. Will be a lot of boys coming in quite early on. Usually people will attempt to get a reasonable chunk of those workers on the other side of the map this way. Zest going for the Twilight Council, so we're imagining he's going to have a reasonable amount of gateways here. Try and jump in front of this. Just shading in. Just wants to keep tabs on the amount of units that are here. How many SCVs are mining. How many Marines are coming in from the production line. All that good stuff. 2 tech labs being chosen for time. One of them making Stimpack right now, but still making Marines. No Marauders is what I mean. Just quite yet. And Combat Shield as well. Alright, that should be a pretty fine timing here. Gateway is finishing up for Zest. He's no longer got an adapt across the field, but it's coming back across, so he realizes he would prefer to have a visual on his opponent's front line here. Which I think is probably a wise choice. Ooh, Zest, is he already establishing a 3rd base? Making the investments. He's going up to 2 gates. Wait, sorry, that's 3 gates. He's going up to 3 gates. With the robo as well. Does have a pylon down here. He's saved up the amount of money now for a nexus, and yeah, it will be a 3rd nexus. Okay. Wasn't anything else producing like a war prism or such, so that is what we were expecting. And now in comes this 3 Rex bio play. Well-positioned Stalkers at the forefront, trying to target down Marauders mostly, right? Those are the more expensive units. They deal the most damage to the Stalkers as well. Get rid of those. Be a great accomplishments. Got to be a little bit more careful now with the stim pack upgraded as well. Of course, he has Blink to jump away from a nasty situation, but that can only save you one time every couple of seconds. So good cancellation on that third base. Time actually turning around. Just for another quick poke at this force of the Protoss. Has decided to just skedaddle on out of there as quickly as he can, though. More units are on that production line, so more reinforcements are waiting here if Zest does try to commit. He has an Immortal to try and break the bunker with. But then again, I don't know if you want to, right? You got that third base on the way. You're in a pretty good spot here. It did get cancelled, but yeah, it's not the worst. It's not the worst. It's not in a place where he has to do damage. Now, his worker count is a little bit low in comparison to that of Time, but Time doesn't have a third base. So if his goes up any further, he doesn't really have a place to do anything with it. I guess that's why he's making 2 more racks, and he's probably going to all-in Zest at some point in the near future. Or is he? No. Okay. No, does still go for that third base. Maybe he was just afraid for the counterattack of Zest, or a potential counterattack. After cancelling that third base. Didn't want to take a play like just going straight up into that third base, spending that money on it, and then suddenly being blindsided by a big wave of Blink Stalkers and such. Prism in the main base, a great way to distract, of course, and cause quite a bit of turmoil here in the SCV lines. There we go, already having to pull pretty much everything here. Can go to the third base if he wants to. It's going to take a couple of seconds to get that production going strong enough to shoo away a War Prism with 3 Zealots here. Right, does seem to be a bit too much all at once for Time, so he is moving back from the front lines, no longer attempting to break down that third base once again. Has moved backwards. Good opportunity to fight with the army he has. Seems to be fading here a little bit. But then again, he's already incorporating Vikings right now. He's getting the Ghost Academy. So he's getting very much ready for the next evolution of this battle, really. Zest is getting himself that Colossus. And is he starting up anything else so far? I mean, he has the Twilight Council, but no Templar Archives or anything of that. Just the secondary robos, so really doubling down on that robotech right now. Not that many upgrades for Zest either yet so far. Only just at this moment getting the +1 well, finished, and now going for the +2. Time just finishing up his 1-1 as well. Let's see if he should have an armory, right? No, he doesn't. No, he went before the armory with the Ghost Academy. Interesting. Ooh, War Prism getting caught out. Can't see everything, I guess, but close enough. Without that War Prism there, it could be a good opportunity here for Time to try and make something happen out on the map. Not that much around to fly into your main base, so definitely a moment to make something happen here. Zest, of course, with that observer in the middle of the field, is having a great idea of what's going on and will be able to set up his army right where it needs to be. Disruptors are in production, but aren't quite available just yet. It's mainly up to these 4 Colossi, who do not have extended thermal lance, by the way. That could be a massive problem right here. They are having to stand right on top of the Stalkers to do pretty much anything. And then again, it doesn't look like the Bio's really trying to target them down. Giving a good opportunity for Zest to just keep shooting away. And maybe a little bit of an awkward position to fight there as well for Time. Upper ramp against those Colossi, especially with... I could be mistaken, but it looks like there was mostly Marines in his front ranks. very difficult to have them survive thermal lance attacks. Well, without the thermal lance, of course. I don't know what else to call them. Laser beams of death, pretty much. Could call them marine killing lasers, really. Just that's what they do. Little run by here. Won't be able to do much, but on the left side, I thought he would use this opportunity to come in. It had opened up that area. Time a little bit over responding to that Zealot aggression right there. Now not really respecting it enough, perhaps. Leaving that area so the Zealots do come in on the top side, but this Ruptor battle here could be quite meaningful. Let's take a look over there. Yeah, that is 9 SCVs going down. Those Zealots coming back in, of course. And I don't know, is this... Okay, are we okay? We are okay. Are we okay? I think we're okay. Apologies for a slight spike there. Not entirely sure where this is coming from. I'll try this. Wait, my dear lord. Ah, it manages to strike at the worst time. Okay, well, there we go. Let's hope that is a one-timely thing. Apologies. I'll try to focus again on this match. Here we go. Zealots, Disruptors, Colossi, Archon, Starkers, the whole work coming in right now onto this command center here. Disruptors managing to lay their hands on one of those ghost units as well as one of the Widow Mines. This is a rough battle. Those Vikings need to try and stay in the front to zone away those Colossi, of course, before you can really make a move onto the rest of the Protoss army. To be fair, Zest not managing to get too much worth killing there. A little bit of the ghost, of course, from the rest of that Terran army. Still perfectly fine. Ooh, this could be big. Time paying attention. Will not fall for such cheap tricks. Not yet, anyway. More Disruptors. Nice shooting down. Good targeting. That one manages to land quite neatly. But is it going to be enough? I'm not entirely certain. The Vikings really shooting down those Colossi right now. More Disruptor shots. How many do we have left, really? That's the question. That is maybe 3. No, I don't know if he has any left. This is a big problem. Okay, there's the 2 more, but immediately targeted down. Time 73 army supply strong. He's going to be able to get that War Prism as well. So if he wants to, there we go. Only getting 3 probes, but that's the entire technological tree of Zest pretty much reset. 3 Disruptors, because he is making 2 at a time, is helping out a ton right now. He does have the Templar Archive, so we will be able to continue making those as well. Again, he only has 200 gas remaining. This is a rough place to be. Time just going to spend a lot of minerals, of course, getting those Marines back. In Zest here, having to, well, scrounge together as much gas as he can to get that expensive side of the Protoss army back. Oh, this is a wonderful way to get himself some extra time, some extra chaos. Distraction going down onto that base. A fight is happening here as well. Time very preoccupied, though, with the battle over there. Manages to get rid of a Disruptor, but at the same time, 17 SCVs go down, and now loses track of the army on the top side. Has a lot more SCVs and the Planetary Fortress going down now. So Widowmine drops on the left side. Did manage to get a couple of probes. Zest is on the job, though. Will be trying to stop that from doing any further damage. Looks like he's succeeding. Just an observer right on top of the army of Time. This is absolutely terrible. He needs to get rid of that if he wants to have a good shot. Doing anything, really. Otherwise, Zest is just going to be set up, especially with Disruptors. There's no way to really fight that if your opponent knows where you're coming from. All the Widow Mines just gone like that in a spliff. second. In a jiffy. And Zest parading around the map like a proud, proud lion. Something very proud. Coming in, shutting down another base. We'll be able to pick this up as well. This is just going horrible for our Terran here. It's hard to put it in any other words. We know he has a planetary fortress up here, but is that going to be enough? Disruptor's now just zoning away that army. That is a massive strike to the gut. We thought that was happening to Zest before we started this, but apparently, you know what? He is just delivering gut punches himself. There we go. GG is called. Well played, Mr. Zest. Picks up map number 2 as well. 2 points already acquired for our blue Protoss in the top left side. From Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Zest. Bottom right side, a red Terran appears. The opponents so far not having the best of fortune. These are Chinese Terran, of course, from Kaisi Gaming. Time. So both these players. Oh, did he want to make a guess there? He did. Alright. Managed to get that on camera, didn't we, Zest? I bet you wish we didn't. Oh well. Whoopsie daisy. Happens to the best of us, guys. You see, buttery fingers. We all have them sometimes. Even the most of grizzled veterans, or the most grizzled veterans, still buttery fingers. Something sometimes. No probe this time across the map. Both of them getting their expos around the same time. And we have a Marine first, of course, again from time. Seems to be the way that things are just going for Terran lately, huh? Getting that Marine first, trying to be safe against the probe poking in for your command center. That's not doing it this time around. And then just going in with an SCV to scout with rather than the Reaper. The Reaper, of course, still potentially useful, but I mean, I guess this just means that you want to try to have some sort of a Hellion follow-up, perhaps, in order to get a bit of scouting going, right? Because you do want to get eyes on that main base. I suppose you could just get a scan as well, but then, you know, it's always the question, like, are you going to get it? Are you not going to get it? A percentage thing, and I guess that you could say the same about a Reaper or a Hellion, to be fair. Right, still a percentage thing, whether or not they are going to be able to scout this, but a matter of fact, flying into the main base, most likely we'll be able to pick up that there is a Twilight Council there, so... And the Hellions, you get a little bit more area to cover with them. Ooh, going for the Widow Mines this time. Yeah, I mean, that's fine too, right? As long as you get in that base. Doesn't quite have the Marine numbers at the time. Is going to try this, though. He's going to lose all his Marines. That's a bit unfortunate. Now, with the Widow Mine into the ground, a little bit too slow as well. And the... Oh, boy. Oh, the Adepts are inside. Is he going to allow this to shade in? Yes, he is. A little bit unfortunate that the Herd Adept was in the front. But he will be able to get in here. I'm not sure if he's going to try to target anything else down or if he just wants to be annoying. May as well try to pick up one or two more of those units, right, man? There we go. Another SCV. Painful stuff. What in the what to majuckety buck? Okay, I guess we're getting a Dark Shrine. Don't often get to see a Dark Shrine, but when we do, it does look scary. It does look terrifying in this situation here. So I might get a good scout on it though with these Widow Mines, as this Dark Shrine is just over here. Widow Mines, with the matter of fact coming in from the bottom side, should be able to see this. Now I'm not sure if he's going to reconsider coming in from this angle if he does show himself to the probe. So yeah, now he knows he's been spotted, so that might make him reconsider flying into this area. Yes, it does. And that is massive for Zest. That's going to keep those Dark Templars hidden. Not only does this allow him to, you know, stay safe from the Widow Mines for a little bit longer, right? So have untarnished mining going on, but also that Dark Shrine now. Oh my time. This is a problem, isn't it? Oh, this is 9 seconds right now where he has nothing. He has nothing to do about this. 3 seconds still remain. That siege tank is going to go down as well. The Marines are in low numbers. Zest realizing the opportunity here. The Dark Templars, though, a good surround with the SCVs and the Marines. So we'll be able to pick that up. But that's 9 SCVs going down with a siege tank and a fair number of Marines also. Fantastic opening there for Zest. Just 2 Dark Templar. That's all he needed. And that is a very strong start. Has to worry time to no end at this point, I would imagine, as he already was kind of struggling with dealing with Zest here, even if things were looking fairly equal. This Widow Mine drop, of course, still parading around the map as well. Hasn't quite found anything just yet. And is he going to try to just do a full frontal push? It looks like a little bit like he wants to just bring this in. This is the worst time for him, though. This is probably one of the worst things that could have happened. So all the Stalkers in the middle of the map. They don't have Blink yet, so I suppose it's not the absolute worst thing that could have happened. But it's still not great. And there it is. GG. In the bottom left side, the blue Protoss fighting for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Zest. And our red Terran player in the top right side, a Chinese Kaizi Gamer. Time. Has to get something to go into his favor right here, right now. Maybe a little bit of a panic is having him subscribe to a tactic that could harm him or could help him. This could all be a mind game for Zest as well. Of course, that previous game, remember, he didn't send that probe scout. Time perhaps picking up on that fact, trying to make a quick adjustment, hoping that his opponent would do it one more time here. And now, well, here is Zest once again with that probe coming across the track, looking to see what is what, and we'll immediately find out. There's no barracks here. There's no barracks here. It's gonna have a couple of look-sees in the corners, of course. Sometimes Terran do like to hide it in places like this or around this area. Sometimes even around here, right? So probably worth checking those places as well. And then around your own base, of course, also a great place to check. Sees the barracks. It's only a 2 racks. Pretty good opportunity for time, I would say, nonetheless. Cybercore only now about to finish up. Bit difficult with the high ground here, of course. I was hoping for time he would be able to get one of those SCVs up there and then start up a bunker or something, an engineering bay, something with a bit of HP to keep that place safe. Ooh, his Zealot, actually. Did he overextend? No, he didn't. Does manage to pick off that one Marine. Bit of a misplay there from time. In the main base, there is a probe still roaming around. Time here now. Kind of having to be satisfied with just the delay that he managed to achieve. Zest, you know what, bites the bullet, puts down a Twilight Council in his main base before anything else. Shield battery. Ooh. Missing the shield battery there a couple of times, but well, He's going to lose a Stalker. Yes, he is. He's going to lose a Zealot as well. This is actually quite bad for Zest. He's in a lot of trouble now. He did not engage that as you should apparently at all. That was horrible. Not supposed to lose 2 units there with a shield battery. Oh my, maybe growing a bit impatient, trying to just break free from the containment. A couple of extra Marines though coming in from the barracks, maybe unexpectedly, bringing in that bit of extra DPS and bringing down quite a bit extra. A lot of lost mining time now for Zest. And look at that, there's still more Marines walking into the base and there's no units. There's no units. Warp gate almost about to be finished up. Oh, that is rough. Okay, the probes with the shield battery, they are a fierce opponent, of course. Warp gates now going to be able to warp in the first Stalker again. Oh, another probe does fall. More probes have to be pulled. Another probe goes down. More. Yes, 3 blood. Protoss blood flowing freely right now. Okay. Well, was that worth it? Second base for Zest coming up. He's still on 23 workers versus the 25. There's no second base for Time. But Time has a factory and he has a starport. The probe finally does get destroyed as well. Takes a little bit to have that all go down, but at the very least, what Ty managed to do is to get himself in a position where he does have Siege Tank before Blink is ready. He does have that prepared, and he made the game weird, so it's hard to say exactly who's going to be able to get out on top here. I think Time is in a pretty good spot. I would say Time is in a pretty... I like his positioning. I like what he managed to get done. Let's take a look over here as well. Right, yeah, 8 probes, 3 Stalkers, and a Zealot. It's 150 gas for the Protoss. A bit more minerals as well lost. This is good. There's nothing here on the side of Zest as that Blink upgrade is finishing up to really allow him to push into this Terran base either. There's a Banshee coming up as well. That Banshee doesn't have Cloak. Not gonna get Cloak either. Oh, wait a moment. Reconsidering. Going for the Raven. Alright. I like it actually. You know, a quick adjustment there. The Raven could be a big play in case the Dark Templar do come into play again, right? He knows there's a Twilight Council. He's just played against Dark Templar, so great choice. It's that first Banshee. We have a pylon, it's not a shield battery. That's 5 probes. Pretty good. Pretty good. Good bit of extra damage right on top there, keeping the probe count for Zest quite low. Minimizing the effect of having that second Nexus up that early there for him. Really helping out that second set of Chronos onto the probe production. Still Zest with a very scrawny little force here, and the army of Time is growing. It's going to be growing quite quickly now as well with the triple barracks production. He has 3 siege tanks here. Right, he almost has half the number of siege tanks as Zest has Stalkers, so those aren't great numbers for the Protoss. Templar Archives as a follow-up step here, together with the charge upgrade. The entirety of the infrastructure of Zest there. Some of it, of course, on a cliff's edge. Another opportunity, perhaps, for siege tanks to make something happen there. But Time very reluctant to make any move out just quite yet. His Stimpack did finish up. Combat Shield is about to finish up as well, but I suppose without Medevacs, he just doesn't want to make the commitment just yet. It's going to start heading out now, so the Medevacs will be able to join up in a little bit here. Ooh, sees the Stalkers. Yeah, you can see how careful Time is being right now. He does not want to go down 4-0. He's taking every step with a couple of extra seconds thought. And there we go. Zest realizing, you know what? That is not something I can fight against. And I agree with him. GG is called. Does appear like the regular macro openings of both these plays is just somewhat favoring Zest right now. So it is up to Time to try and deviate from the norm. Try to vary up his stuff. Figure out a way to make it all still work. He's going to go for the Reaper this time around. Did go for the double gas as well, as he made himself a wall. Trying to ensure that Zest, his eyes, do not manage to see anything important. Now, how is Zest going to cope with this? Pretty much the way you would do with anything. So far, just grabbing that Nexus still. Getting himself that pylon in the front door. Pretty much doing things standardly. Keeping the probe just barely outside. Wants to keep that alive, of course, in case the Reaper leaves. We'll be able to run back in. What a wow. Very well done. It's always great when probes do this, isn't it? Oh my god, he's so good. Oh my god, that is so good. Just hiding probes. Come on, no. Come on, hide it again. Hide it! No, Zest! Ah. That's a shame. Alright, well, anyway. Time does find it. Does pick it off. Will not have that probe come in for a secondary scout, which is big. Zest now even further in the dark and going for a Stargate. Stargate, cool. I like this. I really like this, actually. Very, yeah, he doesn't have that much insight, so maybe that is the reason why, right? With the Blink upgrade, you could try to get some scouting done, but it's going to take a little bit longer. If you go for the Stargates, you make an Oracle. Or I guess a Void Ray, right? You could make a Void Ray. Wait a moment, is he? He might just be prepping for something that he knows Time likes to do. Like a Thor push. Which could be coming up. Would that be the reason why he's building Void Rays? How many gateways are we on? Hold up. Hold the phone. Going up to 2 gate. Wow, okay. Wow, okay. I'm just gonna stay quiet here for a little bit. Oh. Let's take that one to the face. Oh, the Widow Mine! Oh, the Widow Mine! Zest! Oh, it takes 2 of them. There is another Void Ray. This is the most interesting way to defend this I've seen so far. I think. It's very curious. It's very interesting. I'm not sure what to make of that. That is... Time just dropping those Widow Mines, and yes, that's letting one of the Void Rays just fly into them. So where's the other Void Ray? He's still making Void Rays, isn't he? Well, he made 1 more at least. He's up to 2 again. And he's chronoing. Yes, he is. He's still making those Void Rays, of course. Of course. Guys, do you think Zest is kidding? Think Zest is joking around when he makes Void Rays? No, of course not. He will go full ham on those, baby. You will. Oh, that is... Oh, look at that. That is wonderful. My god, that dealt with that medevac like nothing else. The Widow Mine's now just kind of stuck here. Very interesting way. Oh, more Widow Mines. I'm sorry, guys. I was being preoccupied with looking at those Void Rays. They are seemingly susceptible to Widow Mine fire, which is a problem. I love this build from Time, though. This is absolute pandemonium. This is just Widow Mines everywhere from Time, and then Zest trying to defend with Void Rays of all things. Look at that, taking another blast right to the dome of those Void Rays. They are getting in a little bit of trouble here. Has an Oracle available, will be making it a bit easier. More Widow Mines, though. There's a cannon, but Time says, you know what, I don't really care. Look at that damage. 10 probes, just like that. There is another Widow Mine available, I think, ready to shoot. Yes, it is, but will it? Yes, it does. Another Void Ray does get scrambled up right there. In Time with a 3rd base in production, almost ready. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. This is a wild game if I've ever seen one. A Void Ray defense against mass Widowmine drop. I think this would have done a lot better if there wasn't as many. But because of the sheer volume, as well as there's the armory with this, right? So the Widowmine stayed hidden. I think that just made it so much more difficult for those Void Rays to do anything that I guess I can kind of see what the idea of these Void Rays is, though, right? They're pretty quick with the overcharge, as long as you have them in the right place. So on a map like Blackburn, it's a lot more valid, because you can set them up in a place like, you know, over here, where it's very, very likely that if there is a medevac coming, it's probably gonna fly across that area. So I like this from Zest. I think it's a very clever play, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work out. I'm not sure if it's gonna pay off. Third base for Zest, still in construction, of course, since the third or fourth time is getting in position to mine right now. More Widow Mines. Loaded up into medevac number 264 right now, it feels like. I think it's just medevac 3 or 4, but... Man. I scooted back in and out so many times, I lost count. Status trap, not gonna succeed. We have a medevac that did get scouted by the probe. See all the Widow Mines in one location. Is any of them? Oh, wow, still 8 probes right there. Getting shot again. Zest, bit too confident on being able to get the kills right there. Wasn't able to do so. Oracle still running around, but not a lot of energy available on him. Worker supply in time's favor, which is a very big deal for a Terran here, of course. He was ahead in bases as well, which is I feel like, even bigger deal almost. Unless if they just, you know, build a lot of bases without having the army to really secure those bases. But that's not the case at all for Time here. He has plenty of army to go around. Good bit of splash damage with the 4 Widow Mines. He's got himself even 6 Vikings, going up to 8 soon. And that's a formidable amount of poke to get rid of some Void Rays or Colossi. And you know what, Time not even gonna bother setting up into a big fight right there at the front gates. He is just gonna go straight into the main base and head on out of there again. Like, perhaps just attempting to have these Colossi run back and forth this area so that they can get shot at with the Vikings over and over again. A couple of hallucinations to set off the Widow Mines. Again, a brain play from our Protoss player here. This time reconsiders his options. Makes a plan B on the drawing boards with a Widow Mine in, well, 3 Widow Mines in a medevac. Headed up north and waiting for further instructions from the home base, I suppose. That's the plan right now. Ah, okay, okay. I like this, actually. Not really going for the aggressive, let's jump on a cannon with our Widow Mines, but just using them kind of as like, you know, just little observers. Very tiny, small observers is what they are right now. Explosive killing observers. Zest is going to carry us, by the way. He's got 2 Stargates going up with the +1 air weapons. Let's have +1 ground weapons also. But will he have to disrupt us here to keep the Terran at bay for a long enough period of time? He needs to have 1 more shot. He doesn't quite have that. Alright, GG is called again. Zest. Suddenly his world is getting rocked. Tight game. Tensions rising throughout these players like bat. Zest thinking to himself, I thought I killed you. I thought I murdered you. Time, of course. I never was murdered. I was merely fainting injury. Growing stronger. while you beat me at StarCraft. You fool. You fool. Beating me only made me stronger. Something like that. That's how I imagine this this to be. If this was an anime, alright? If this was an anime. Which is, it's almost turning out to be. If Time gets this reversal sweep, I'm gonna be quite handsomely impressed. Something you don't see every day, it's a proxy factory. And we're gonna get a proxy starport there as well. This would be quite a treat. I mean, I was hoping we're gonna see more shenanigans out of Time, make the game quite a bit awkward for Zest here. That does seem to be working out the best so far. But this, well, let's see. Is it too much? It's a Hellion. There's the starports. It's going to be producing Hellions one at a time. I'm not sure how well that lines up. I think you're going to have like 3 Hellions maybe, right? If you... you might have 4 still. Right? Otherwise you do reactor. And then, well, you would switch the reactor over. And then you would start producing 2 Hellions at a time. So yeah, there's no way you're going to get 4 Hellions. There's no way. There's no way he's going to get 4 Hellions, sir. So he's going to have to wait for 3, right? That's the minimum. You need 3 of them. You might wait for 4 and then, who knows, you might try to make a Liberator or something, follow-up attack afterwards. This is bad. This is bad. This is quite devastatingly bad. This is, well, this is interesting, actually. This might throw Zest off as well. This is quite the curveball for him, right? He's like, where is your stuff? You don't have anything. Why don't you have anything, good sir? What can he still do at this moment in time when he doesn't even know what is coming? The 3 Hellions now into this base. So far, only 1 probe has gone down. Not the greatest targeting. Alright, there we go. Does pick up a couple of them. And bringing it up to a kill counter of 5. Which is okay. It is okay. You might be able to pick up a couple more here. Little sneaky plan trying to trick Zest into believing that the Hellions are coming to the main base. As this medevac. Oh, yes, it's gonna work. Those Hellions now free access into the natural. A lovely little ploy. Magician's gamble. And a nice little... Oh, no, don't shoot the Stalker. Oh, he gets another 5 probes. Very, very respectable. But yeah. The Magician's Gamble, where you pretty much have something completely irrelevant to the entire thing that is happening take up the attention of your entire audience. In this case, Zest. Zest might strike back, though. Look at that. 7 Stalkers on the field. Make that 9. Make that 11. And as a defensive setup, we do have 2 bunkers. So I'm fully aware that this is a high potential problem. Bunker definitely helping out so far. Couldn't quite kill those Stalkers though. The War Prism right there ready to help out with the defense. Got to be incredibly careful not to lose too many units right here. All that blood on the ground is incredibly, incredibly bad for Time. As those Stalkers, they snowball. Of course, Zest just trading shields mostly for the oh so dear numbers of Marines and Marauders. Okay, does lose 1 Stalker right there. And again, I'm not that confident just quite yet in the numbers that Time is producing here. Oh my... Oh. Maybe, looks like he himself is. It's like, I don't even need this extra Marine. Kills him himself. For the Emperor. he's starting to hold. He's got a siege tank there now. He's not lost too many units anymore. He's only lost 7 marines in total. I thought that would be a little bit more, but here we are. Ooh, sentries now. Devious ploy. I think it's got a devious lick now, isn't it? Something like that. He's gonna sentry lick the lickety splits. Ooh, yeah, there we go. There's the full force fields right there. A lot of the bio now no longer going to be able to do anything about this situation right here. Another force field does come in. Oh, it's not on the correct spot though, so the bio does manage to burst on through. Zest doesn't get as much as he maybe would have liked to have gotten. He got the factory, which is a big pick-off. He's lost a lot of Stalkers in the process. And back at home, he's not really been producing that much other than just, you know, Stalkers. Doesn't really have a tech to follow up onto. He's making more gateways. This is a terrifying army to fight when you're only on gateway units. Prison having a tough time to manage the aggression of Time. He wants to keep him busy, keep him preoccupied on his own terms, but Time having none of it, marching across here, looking to destroy a third base, and he's going to be feeling pretty funny when he sees that there's not even a third base yet. Scanning ahead. Recall does come in as the Stalker army coming back, but this entire rest of the army is just going to get obliterated. Time just takes a straight up another win. 3-3, ties it up. And we are going to game number 7. One more victory for either one of these boys. Will they try to make it a cheeky one? Or is this once more returning to the regular macro game? Time, he's pulled a lot of tricks. Maybe his bag of tricks is empty now. Or maybe he just would like to win one of the games on the regular, well-practiced macro terms. Which so far hasn't really been working out for him all too swell. But at the same time, I mean, right now, Zest might be feeling a little bit off, right? He might have some second guesses with some twists and turns this game might be taking. He may not fully take the same steps as he did in those first initial 3 games. He's gonna second guess himself at some points in time. Who knows? Just because the previous 3 games went so much worse and had so many surprises continuously all over the place. Could be a good opportunity for Time to bring it back into the regular game. Hopefully this time around manage to eke out on top. Well, for his sake. For Zest's sake, of course. We're hoping that we'll be able to just keep his head calm, stay focused, and just do the regular macro game he's been doing all this time, because that is doing absolutely wonderfully well against Time. I wouldn't mind seeing the Void Race again, I guess, but it's very, very, very unlikely. Bridal Terrace, it's too many places where you can get flown into, right? So there it is, by the way. There's the Altaris, isn't it? That's the mothership. Whatever it is, the thingamajig, the big old ship. Hellions getting scouted. Hellions pretty much being what the probe wanted to scout anyway. Maybe wanted to see a little bit more, but you know what? Seeing that 2 Hellions there, you kind of know what's happening in the Terran base. You got a really good idea. Some things that may vary, but overall you should have a pretty reasonable understanding of what could be hitting you here in the next oncoming minute or 2. Three probes. Giants. Okay, that's 5. That's not too bad so far. Zest doesn't quite manage to get that block off, but doesn't matter anymore. Too few Hellions to make the one-shots happen. Especially with that shield battery there. Zest manages to defend 5 probes. I'd say that's acceptable. 5 probes. It's a shame he didn't get all the hounds, but he got 3 of them. So that's reasonable. Let me show you guys that a little bit longer, actually. Same amount of minerals, of course. Probes much more valuable than hounds at this stage in the game. Unless if the hounds kill a lot of probes. Because the probes are so valuable. That's the only thing why... The only reason why hounds are valuable is because they can kill valuable units. So interesting to think about. Alright, anyway. Starport's coming in as well. The Robo with the Blink. Once more for Zest. That seems to be the strat helping him out the most. The Hellion Scout does get shot down, but eyeball confirmation on that 3rd base being put down for Zest. So, Time will have a bit of a choice here what he wants to do himself. How quickly he wants to try and obtain a 3rd base, or if he wants to try and put pressure on that base himself. I've seen him try to kill 3rd bases before. I think he managed to get a cancel on one of them as well at some point, right? He did go with the triple Rex at that time, but also he got shot down quite quickly afterwards. Because the Stalkers just kept chasing him and shooting everything into tiny little marine bits. Alright. 4 more gateways. Getting ready for the production to kick it up into high gear. For Zest, which he is going to need if this army does actually move out full time. Should be soon. Now Medevac's about to finish up. This is usually the time. There we are. The moment where this man does push out. One Medevac a little bit further along than the other one, but they'll both arrive at some point, right? Very good vision here for Zest, of course, though. Not only the Watchtower, but also that Observer. In a way, I'd almost feel like it would be good to not have the Watchtower at that point in time, because you just have the Observer, right? And then your opponent doesn't quite know that, or not know for sure that he's been spotted moving out in the whoop. Ooh, a couple of Zealots with the War Prism into the main base. Widow Mine in the ground does force them back up into the sky. So the rest of this attack of time seemingly in shambles. There was still a siege tank there. I think that may have been forgotten. Usually not a key piece that you would just leave stranded like that, like you would a Widow Mine. War Prism does manage to successfully evade the Terran gun line. Get himself out of there. Robo Bay being added into the technology list for Zest. So we are heading into a bit of a later game here. Liberators getting produced together with the Ghost Academy. A bit of a mix-up there from time before. We used to see more of the Viking numbers. Initially, at least. Now just straight up, immediately into the Liberators. Personally, I have to confess, I prefer the Liberators as well. I don't know if he prefers them, actually, because he's gone back into the Vikings. You know what? I just want to say I prefer the Liberators. But that's mostly because my opponents, the people that I face, just kind of walk into them. Which makes them a lot more viable at my ELO. Alright, people there. Observer getting taken out. This is a very scary army of Terran here, and the force fields might be able to buy enough time. The Zealots, don't think those are going to be able to achieve much either. Liberators setting up shop. They are going to get a lot of probe kills. The army is going to have to respond, and this might be an opportunity for time to push into one of these places. But no, he moves back. He just moved back. All right. But he gets 10 probes, so that is pretty darn phenomenal. Pretty darn phenomenal. But then again, I feel like he could have gotten a little bit more, right? Guess he just didn't want to risk it. Didn't want to risk it. To be fair, like, it's so easy for me to say that, right? Because I can see the army of Zest moving here, and there not being hardly anything here. If there's like a disruptor over here, right, and you stim in and necessarily while you're trying to deal with a warp prism over here or something like that at the same time, you can throw the game quite quickly. You can throw that game quite quickly. So sometimes it's not about doing everything at the same time. It's about knowing when to do what and when to move away from certain times. Just to increase the likelihood of you having a good engagement, of you getting the fight that you need in order to win the game. Or Colossi, 2 Immortals now being produced as well. Immortals do quite good against those Marauders, which we are producing a couple of, so 19 Marauders right now. Zest tries to take a full space. Time already has his. A little bit of a better economy. I say a little bit. Can we... Yes, we can. Alright. Income advantage. You know what? I thought that would be further in Time's favor. Maybe Zest just a little bit preoccupied with the 3 base. I bet he was anticipating a much earlier attack from Time. I kind of was in the same feeling or the same boat, where I was anticipating Time to make the commitment on that 3 base. But since he didn't... And Zest still made all these preparations, right? He made all those gateways at the correct time. And look at this army that he's assembled, right? The 4 Colossi, 4 Archons, a good amount of Immortals. He's got sentries. He's got everything he needs. But then there wasn't really an army coming in to attack. And now there is an army, but it does have Ghosts as well. They all land magnificent EMPs. The bio is withering away rather quickly. The Vikings do manage to pick off a reasonable amount of the Colossi, but it's just not enough. Not enough, not in time. Zest, good chasing Blink, trying to poke away at whatever he can. Gonna try to start stabilizing once more, not moving into the Terran territory. Not sure if that is a mistake in the situation. Maybe he could have poked in a little bit further and stopped like this base from being built or something, right? Even a minimal amount of something, but once again, these players playing it safe. They are trying their best not to throw. And they are trying their best not to just needlessly give up an advantage that they really don't have to. With an advantage, that could mean like a big part of your army. Something advantageous to you, right? I'm not sure if I would give Zest the advantage right now. I think he's in a lot of trouble, but... Now we'll see. We'll see how this fight goes. It's only the 2 Colossi, and then there's the Archons as well. Immortals do good against those Marauders. But 2 Liberators still on the top side, making it near impossible for Zest to move into that area. Especially combined with the EMPs and the bio there as well. Of course, a good stim. Okay, Widowmine's landing on a pretty good chunk of units. The Liberator's very quick to be taken out. The Vikings poking away at those Colossi. Will they be able to pick the, well, at least one of them off? One still remains. Marauders need to jump forward on that if they want to take it out. And again, everything in the red HP here full time has the back of... You know what? That was a really good fight for Zest right there. That was a really good fight for Zest. Zest with the 5 bases here in the back. To be fair, Time in still a solid position as well. He's going to be able to replenish his forces rather quickly. He still has that command center. It didn't go down. That's massive since it's an orbital. And Time, wow, finds himself right on the top of a lot of probes here. So we have a quick pause coming up for Zest. Very interesting timed pause right here. But then again, we know Zest, right? This is what he does. This is... this is what he usually does. Alright, and 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So yeah, this is quite massive. Can't quite get the Nexus. But we'll be able to get 10 probes. The 2 medevacs trying to get cut off by those stalkers. Unfortunately, not going the correct way. And those medevacs get out of there. Big deal for Time. Retrieving those units. He doesn't have that many at the moment and would like to spare any boy that he can. What about the bases? The minerals remaining here. Main base is pretty much mined out. Surprised that Time isn't mined out quicker. With mules, of course. I suppose Protoss have just more probes than initially. Okay. Scary part about games like these is that it could come down to just this one massive battle at some point in time, right? Just one big battle. If it goes too heavily in favor for one of these players, the game is out of control. You can't get it back anymore as the other player. As long as these guys both kind of do the salsa dance together, the salsa StarCraft dance of death, it's just barely scraping enough units off of both these armies. We will have this continue for quite a while. Already 16 minutes in. That's a good bit of salsa. StarCraft here. Spicy StarCraft. Alright, more command centers coming up. Fusion core as well. Probably looking for the Liberator range. I'm not sure where this army is going towards. Attempting to utilize the command centers, I guess, to protect his infantry from behind. A couple of zealots there. Not quite where they wanted to go. Could provide an opportunity for Zest, though. Once again, Zest will jump on this one this time around. No army of Time anywhere near. May even have to cancel that command center if he really wants to try and commit it. Never mind, just let that finish, actually, right? Oh boy, it might get forcibly cancelled. It doesn't even get cancelled. It just gets destroyed. Here we go. One big push from Time, trying to come from all sorts of angles. Will be able to pick up a good portion of this Protoss army. But will he have enough standing? Will he have enough remaining to do anything with across the map right now? 89 army supply versus about 20 available after that massive warping of High Templar Zealots right here from Zest. Does he have Storm? He doesn't have Storm as an ability, so needs to make this an Archon as well. There we go. And Time definitely will be able to poke in more damage right on top of that gold base right there. Will not be able to facilitate an enormous amount of wealth there for Zest. And kind of stabilize this game a little bit. So if Zest manages to hold on here for a little bit, if he had Storm, this may have been audible, but without it, without Disruptors and only a single Colossi here, Zest is in a lot of trouble. It looks like we may have a Terran being able to push on through here with these forces, or we may have spoken too soon. Another warping of Zealots. Zest remains. He stays standing. Oh, that was so close, though. That had me worried. That had me incredibly worried for quite a while there. Zest still not much on that production tab going on, though, as there is so much right now on that production tab for Time. Most production for Zest. Also worth noticing is that it's mostly gateway forces. We're not seeing Disruptors. We're not seeing Colossi. It's not that many High Templar or anything of that sort, right? I mean, Archons are okay, but at this moment in time, I don't know. This is not the quality army that you're looking for. Zest realizing, gonna attempt to start up production of some disruptors right here. Needs those quite badly. That's a good bit of mining. Might be able to get accomplished on that gold base for our red Terran. Very awkward intermingling of two air units that don't really want to see each other. But a very good reaction there. Solid stuff from Zest. Another Liberator on the top side. Finds himself a bit of probe panic. That's pretty much all it's going to be able to get. Might have an intercept over here. I mean, he did know. Well, he did notice the War Prism. Is this? What is it filled with even? Okay, it is just Zealots. Yeah, time's on top of things. There was a Widow Mine there as well, so if he tried to commit, that would have just been blown away. Rocketed out of the sky. Okay, both players have their gold base acquired. Of course, a couple more bases available here on the Pride of Eltaris. So it is a wide open battlefield here in the middle. Zest starting to grab the high ground. I'm trying to get a good idea of what exactly we're dealing with. How many forces are coming in here full time. Good disruptor shots right there. Managing to get good volleys. But there's just so much Terran right now. With them, it's not that much medevac support. Is it actually enough? Not that many stims remaining in these bio units. The Vikings on the ground. Liberators shooting away. It might just barely be enough. As Zest has to tap out, losing another fight right there, losing his tech units once more. Definitely not something he will be able to recover from any longer. So GG is called the reverse all sweep. A fantastic accomplishment there by Time. Well played, well deserved victory. GG.